The LOX converter is located in the forward cabinet in the aircraft cabin. Remove the quantity indicator wires from the LOX converter. Removal of this can be done by turning the knurled nut counterclockwise. Place the protective caps provided on the electrical connections on the LOX converter. Remove the vent line on the left side of the converter by pressing down slightly and turning counterclockwise. Remove the line so that it is free of the converter. Remove the pressure line on the right side of the converter by pressing down on the ring on the lower section and turning the knurled section counterclockwise. Remove until free. Check for frost on the lines on the lower right-hand section of the converter. Frost accumulated on a static system is a sign of leakage. Check with a maintenance technician to correct the problem. Loosen the wing nut at the lower section of the converter 3 or 4 turns to allow the wing nut to swing free from the converter. Slide the converter out of the cabinet. Remove the converter by the handle provided on the converter. Safety equipment should be worn, to include a face shield or goggles, loose-fitting dry gloves of impermeable material, cuffless pants, and hardtop shoes. Check the pressure on the service cylinder for 50 psi plus or minus 20. Do not use if the pressure is above 70 psi. Open the liquid port valve to purge any contamination that might be in the valve. Connect the filler hose to the liquid port on the servicing cylinder. Be sure that all connections are clean prior to attaching the hose, and tighten with the wrench provided in the LOX filling area. Do not over-tighten this fitting. Open the liquid port valve. Purge any contamination from the hose by unseating the valve with a clean screwdriver or other clean object to allow a short burst of oxygen to flow. Be sure to point the filler hose away from the person or objects with petroleum products. Attach vent service line to the vent quick disconnect connection. Remove filler valve protective cap. Attach quick disconnect filler hose, 1/4 clockwise turn of the black fitting to attach, 1/4 turn of the outer silver sleeve to start the flow of liquid oxygen and to open the vent. LOX will flow through the fill port into the bottom of the LOX container as gaseous oxygen flows from the vent port. When the converter is full, liquid oxygen will start flowing from the vent port. Remove the filler valve hose by turning counterclockwise. Be careful not to touch the filler hose where it is frosted with bare hands. Always wear gloves and face equipment. Hang the hose on the service cylinder. Place the protective cap on the filler port on the LOX converter. Close the filler valve on the service cylinder to prevent leakage. To verify that the LOX converter is full, weigh the LOX converter using the spring scale provided. A full converter should weigh about 41 pounds. If a converter does not weigh 41 pounds after filling, a problem exists and must be corrected before using the converter. A full converter again will weigh approximately 41 pounds. It is normal for frost to build up near the filler port and the lines in front of the converter. Frost on the following components during the filling process is not normal. A major portion of the buildup coil, pressure closing valve, or to install the LOX converter in the aircraft, slide the converter into the cabinet, being careful not to snag any hoses or wires located in the cabinet. Seat the converter all the way forward into the cabinet. Secure by tightening the wing nut until snug. Install the pressure line by turning counterclockwise until a click is heard. A click signifies it is securely attached. Attach the vent line in the same manner, turning in a clockwise direction to align the pins and lock the vent into place. Connect the electrical indicating wires onto the converter by turning clockwise. Each wire has a male and a female plug. They cannot be interchanged. Close the cabinet door, and with aircraft power applied, a full indicator should read approximately 9.0 liters. If a full indicator does not indicate 9.0, contact a maintenance technician. The next section deals with the filling of gaseous oxygen cylinders utilizing the cascade system. Cylinders should be marked to indicate the quantity. A full cylinder should contain approximately 2,000 psi. Do not exceed 2,000 psi during the filling process with aluminum cylinders. Proper safety equipment should be worn. A face shield or goggles should be worn to protect the eyes. Place the cylinder in the holding fixture provided in the oxygen servicing area. Attach the bottle to the wall using the chain provided. Prior to filling the bottle, open the bottle a quarter of a turn with a short blast of air to allow any contaminants to escape from the bottle valve. The cascade system includes 8 bottles, a valve, a gauge, and a filler line. During the filling process, petroleum products should be kept away from any oxygen servicing area. The filler valve includes a gauge which will attach to the bottle. Attach the valve to the bottle using the thumb nut, turning clockwise to tighten, and it should be only hand tightened to prevent over-tightening. Fully open the valve on the bottle to allow oxygen from the cascade system to flow into the bottle. The 8 bottles in the system contain various pressures. You should always start with the bottle marked number 1, which should be the lowest pressure bottle in the system. Open the valve on the bottle labeled number 1. Then open the valve on the manifold on the cascade system, which will allow oxygen to flow into the line, which will flow into the bottle. Open slowly and allow the oxygen to flow until the gauge on the bottle and the manifold equalize. After the pressures have equalized, close the valve on the bottle number 1, which was the bottle that was being filled from, and open the next bottle, bottle number 2, which should be of a higher pressure. Open the valve fully and allow the pressure from the manifold to the bottle gauge to equalize. After the pressure on the bottle and the manifold is equalized, turn off bottle number 2. Repeat the process on the next bottle. Open bottle number 3 and allow the pressure to equalize on the manifold gauge and the bottle. After the pressure on the bottle and the manifold have equalized once again, close the bottle being filled from and repeat the process until you are up to the highest pressure bottle, which should be labeled as bottle number 8. After the pressure on the bottle gauge and the manifold gauge have equalized, close the bottle being filled from. Repeat the process until bottle number 8 is reached. Again, check the numbers on the bottle to be sure that you are using bottles which increase in pressure. A full bottle should indicate 2,000 psi. Do not exceed 2,000 psi during the filling procedures. Upon reaching 2,000 psi, at the bottle being filled, the process is completed. Close the last bottle being filled from. Close the valve on the bottle. And close the manifold valve. Slowly remove the filler line from the bottle valve. A small amount of oxygen will escape that was trapped in the line from the bottle to the manifold. Carefully hang the bottle valve and filler line as not to cause damage. After the filling process has been completed, place a tag signifying that the bottle is full. Remove the old tag, discard, and place a new tag signifying a full bottle. Remove the bottle from the fixture and place in the rack provided in the oxygen servicing area. Do not allow bottles to stand without securing. As previously shown, using the cascade system. However, a different attachment method for the bottle valve will need to be used. Proper safety equipment should be used, as well as the attachment for the E-cylinder. Attach the E-cylinder anvil to the existing oxygen filling system. Tighten by hand in a clockwise direction. Be sure to use a new plastic washer to prevent leakage during the filling process. Place the filling attachment onto the bottle using the holes and pins as an alignment gauge to secure properly. Tighten the T-handle on the anvil by hand to a snug, tight fit. Open the valve on the bottle using the wrench provided. Open the valve fully and perform the process as outlined using the cascade system earlier in this video. Start with the number 1 bottle and end with the number 8 bottle. Again, open the bottle number 1, then open the manifold gauge. Pressure should equalize between the bottle and the manifold gauge. The process is complete when you have achieved 2000 psi at the bottle gauge.